please leave a voicemail. If you don't leave a voicemail, you're not going to be guaranteed a call back. If you call and hang up and don't leave the voicemail, if it's not important enough for you to leave a voicemail, then they're probably not going to call you back. So always leave a voicemail, and then they will call you back.
And the nurses have 1 hour to return your phone calls. I usually will try to answer my phone as quick as possible and return the phone call as quick as possible. But we do have that 1 hour, because if we're in a meeting or we're unavailable, we do have that time span to return calls. Okay, one of the issues that happened out here was I had to come out and fix the NARC book because we had some staff that were not signing out the medication in the book correctly. So instead of people actually signing it out, punch out from here, sign it here from your card, punch from the card, sign from the book, people were punching and forgetting to sign. Okay, so I had to change one client so that we'd be in order for needing staff to sign off on the meds. So all I need people to do is to please, when you do a NARC count, is when you are going into the NARC book and getting the narcotics for the clients that have them, make sure that just look in front of you and see that if the person, let's say they get it 3 times a day. We have a client that gets that medication 3 times a day, 7, 4, and 8. If you go in at 8 o'clock, you weren't the 4 o'clock med passer, but you saw the 4 o'clock med didn't get signed out, leave a space, do a note to the staff, let them be aware they forgot to sign it out here, check your card, make sure they passed from the card so we don't have a med error, okay? Every one of the meds were accounted for, it was just staff did not take this one step, and it's important we do this step, okay? So when you're actually doing the count with your coworker, when you're doing this, just do a brief look for that day or a couple days up to see, to make sure, because everybody that goes in and is doing it should be looking the shift ahead of them to know that it was all signed out correctly. That's one way. It's just as a team, you work as a team, you do it as a team. That way you know that meds aren't mistaken. Instead of 4 days later, I have to come in, I have to fix the book. All meds were given, but it wasn't taken care of correctly in the book. You sign out from the NARC book if you're the one giving the narcotic, okay? Otherwise, any questions? All NARCs have to be double locked. If the narcotics have expired, you leave the expired ones in the drawer and write expired. You still have to count them. Send me an SCOM so the next time I come in the house, I will pull them, I will take them out of here, and I will sign them out of the book that I took them to be destroyed. Okay?
And we destroy those with our pharmacist.
Let's see. I think I pretty much covered everything in this documentation. Yeah. So, any questions regarding this, guys? Anybody? Okay. Now we have a couple questions we want to ask, just a verbal little quiz. You guys can all kind of do it together. Anybody know the 7 rights of medication administration? Give me one of them.
Right dose.
Person, dose,
Time.
date, time, routes, documentation. One more. Right medication. Very good. Those are the key factors. You guys do that, you won't ever have a med error. That is the key one. Okay? Just remember, if you guys are if you're working with somebody else and you noted the day before somebody didn't give a med correctly, it is everyone's responsibility as a team, because we're here for the clients. It is for them that we're here for. It's not, I'd rather have somebody catch it the first day than 4 days later. Because in a different house, we had to call in a VA because it was that many doses were misgiven, and now it's a reportable thing.
And you have the potential to be able to make the dose up.
Right. So if you call and say, that happened, someone only gave a partial dose of Hung's baclofen, well, I said give the other part this morning if he's still home, and he was home, so he did not miss his full dose. Okay?
Because what could happen to him if he doesn't get his baclofen? What could, he could have more spasticity, tightness, yeah, tightness.
He could have
Pain.
seizures, pain.
Bad transfers, which could then be worse on you guys since you're doing the transfers.
Yep. So, do you guys have any questions? This is what our plan is for the house. This is what we'd like to see you guys do, is when you're passing meds, please close the door when you're setting up your meds. Night staff are not going to be scheduled as the AM med passer unless directed by nursing. For example, if you need to give a medication 30 minutes before breakfast, then night staff would be the one giving that medication. Okay? If it is on the MAR before 7 o'clock in the morning, if we have it at 6, then that means night staff will have to give that med. Do not preset medications ever. We were informed that someone said, put the initials on a med cup and says, well, that's good enough. That's why I can do 2 people at a time. No. We only have 6 people. It's not a heavy med pass. Safety is our key for our clients. We want to make sure that they get their meds. So only do 1 person at a time. Then that way you're never going to accidentally give somebody the wrong meds. Also, you guys are very good in this house about not setting down things for someone else to grab. That we do have houses that has happened at. So just remember, once the meds are set up, they're in your hand, it's for you to take and distribute them. If you're having difficulty with a client and you've attempted 3 times, that's why I say keep the meds in one side and your applesauce and stuff in the other. That way, then another staff member can do a quick look at the meds and know that those are the meds they usually get, and they can attempt it. Okay? Ensure that you're reading your SCOMs and your nursing notes, because whenever there's a new med, we put a nursing note in. We also send an SCOM to tell everybody what's going on. That way you know when there's anything new medically. Ensure that you're reading the med labels on the cards or on the bottles and make sure they match with the MAR, and call nursing if they do not match and there isn't a direction label change on the card. If you know that the direction label has changed, let's say I call Josh. Josh took somebody to an appointment and he knows the order's changing, right? And he knows the med is there. And the first thing he's going to tell me it's happened, I'm going to say put a direction label change on the med. We're still going to order the med from pharmacy, but there's a lot of times with insurance, if we've already gotten out our dose, they will not send out more meds till we use up those meds. Okay? So, and if we're able to, instead of 2, we can do however the med might be. Sometimes we can't. We have to tell pharmacy they have to send it out. Okay? Anything you guys would like added to the plan for the house, or did I cover everything for you?
Is there anything we can do to make it easier? I think we've tried to group most of the meds at 7 o'clock for the majority of people.